In a world awash with information, where the lines between verifiable truth and captivating fiction can often become dangerously blurred, why do some of us find ourselves inexplicably drawn, almost compelled, by explanations that, to many, seem, well, utterly unbelievable? From whispers of hidden agendas operating in the shadows, to elaborate tales of secret societies manipulating the very fabric of our reality, conspiracy theories and other unfounded beliefs have held a tenacious grip on human imagination for centuries. They spark debate, ignite passions, and sometimes even shape the course of history. Have you ever found yourself even momentarily intrigued by a seemingly outlandish explanation? What was it about that idea that caught your attention? Today, we're not here to judge or dismiss. Instead, we're diving deep into the fascinating and often surprising psychology of the unbelievable. We will meticulously explore the intricate and very human reasons why seemingly rational individuals, people just like you and me, can embrace narratives that so dramatically defy mainstream understanding. Join us on this journey as we carefully unravel the complex web of human cognition and the powerful social dynamics that collectively fuel our enduring belief in the extraordinary. At our very core, as human beings, we are fundamentally meaning-seeking creatures. We possess an inherent drive, a deep-seated need to understand the world around us, to impose order on apparent chaos, and to weave coherent narratives from the often disjointed threads of experience. When we are confronted with events that are complex, shrouded in ambiguity, or particularly threatening to our sense of security, our brains instinctively kick into high gear, relentlessly searching for explanations, for a framework that can provide clarity. Think about a time when you felt confused or uncertain about a significant event. Did you find yourself actively seeking out information, trying to make sense of it all? This is precisely where a crucial psychological concept comes into play, what researchers and psychologists refer to as the need for cognitive closure. This describes our individual differences in the desire for a firm answer to a question and an aversion toward ambiguity. Some individuals naturally possess a higher tolerance for uncertainty, comfortably navigating shades of gray. However, for those with a particularly strong need for closure, a clear, well-defined, even if ultimately unfounded, explanation can feel significantly more satisfying. Conspiracy theories, with their often rigid and definitive structures, frequently provide these seemingly neat, tidy, and complete narratives, offering a premature sense of understanding and resolution. In situations where mainstream explanations might appear incomplete, nuanced, or even unsatisfying in their complexity, conspiracy can feel more psychologically comforting. Consider major historical events, large-scale disasters, or global crises. These are precisely the moments that often leave us feeling profoundly vulnerable, disoriented, and grappling with a sense of profound uncertainty. Conspiracy theories can then step into this void, offering a seemingly logical and straightforward chain of cause and effect, often identifying a specific culprit or group responsible, even when that chain of events lacks robust empirical evidence. This can provide a psychologically comforting illusion of control and predictability in a world that can often feel overwhelmingly chaotic and random. Moving beyond the fundamental need for understanding, we also possess a deep and primal need for safety and a sense of personal control over our lives and our environment. When we are confronted with perceived threats, whether real or imagined, the act of identifying a clear cause, and often a specific responsible party, can paradoxically feel empowering. Believing in a hidden agenda, even a negative one, can create a cognitive framework where the world feels less random, less unpredictable, and therefore, in some distorted way, more manageable. It can function as a psychological defense mechanism, shielding us from the overwhelming feelings of helplessness and vulnerability that genuine uncertainty can evoke. Furthermore, for some individuals, embracing a secret truth, a piece of knowledge supposedly hidden from the masses, can foster a potent sense of uniqueness, of being in the know, possessing privileged information that others lack. This can contribute to the formation of an us versus them mentality, where believers perceive themselves as enlightened individuals privy to a deeper reality, while the uninformed masses remain blissfully ignorant. As fundamentally social creatures, our beliefs are profoundly shaped by the groups to which we belong and the social interactions we experience. Sharing a belief, particularly one that deviates from mainstream consensus, can forge remarkably strong bonds and cultivate a deep sense of community and belonging. The advent of online platforms has dramatically amplified this phenomenon, creating digital echo chambers where individuals are primarily exposed to information and perspectives that consistently reinforce their pre-existing beliefs, while dissenting viewpoints are often filtered out or actively dismissed. How has the internet, in your experience, influenced the formation and sharing of beliefs? Have you noticed these echo chambers in action? Moreover, a pervasive general distrust of established authority, whether it manifests as skepticism towards government, mainstream media outlets, can significantly increase an individual's susceptibility to the allure of conspiracy theories. Historical events involving genuine deception, cover-ups, or perceived failures on the part of these authorities can deeply erode public trust, creating a fertile ground where alternative, often conspiratorial, explanations seem inherently more plausible. Once a particular belief, especially a conspiratorial one, begins to take hold, a powerful cognitive bias known as confirmation bias kicks in with full force. This is our inherent tendency to actively seek out and preferentially interpret information that directly confirms our existing views, while simultaneously downplaying, dismissing, or even outright ignoring any contradictory evidence that might challenge our cherished beliefs. Within the confines of online echo chambers and like-minded communities, this natural human tendency is significantly amplified, creating a self-reinforcing cycle of belief perseverance, where dissenting voices are marginalized and the initial belief becomes increasingly entrenched. Our brains, while possessing incredible power and complexity, are also inherently prone to certain systematic patterns of thinking, known as cognitive biases, which can inadvertently make us more receptive to believing explanations that, upon closer scrutiny, might be considered, well, unbelievable. Illusory pattern perception. This refers to our innate and often unconscious tendency to perceive meaningful patterns and connections, even when the data we are observing is entirely random or unrelated. This fundamental bias can lead us to see deliberate connections between unrelated events, interpreting mere coincidence as compelling evidence of a hidden plot or a deliberate orchestration. Have you ever noticed yourself finding patterns or connections in seemingly random events? Proportionality bias. This is the intuitive assumption that significant, large-scale events must necessarily have equally significant and large-scale causes. This bias can often lead individuals to reject simpler, more plausible explanations for major occurrences, instead gravitating towards more elaborate and conspiratorial narratives that seem to better fit the perceived magnitude of the event. When a big event happens, is your initial instinct to look for a correspondingly big cause? Availability, heuristic. This cognitive shortcut describes our tendency to overestimate the likelihood or frequency of events that are easily recalled or particularly vivid in our minds. Conspiracy theories, with their often dramatic, emotionally charged, and easily sensationalized narratives, can be highly memorable and readily accessible in our minds, leading us to overestimate their prevalence or plausibility. Do you find yourself more easily remembering dramatic or sensational stories compared to more mundane ones? How might this influence your perception of their likelihood? And as we discussed earlier, the powerful influence of confirmation bias plays a crucial and often insidious role in solidifying these beliefs. Once an initial inclination towards a particular conspiracy theory takes root, we actively and often unconsciously seek out information that aligns perfectly with our preconceived notions, further entrenching our belief while conveniently disregarding any evidence that might challenge its validity. It is critically important to remember that belief in the unbelievable exists along a broad and nuanced spectrum. Some individuals might initially entertain a fringe idea as a harmless thought experiment, a what-if scenario explored with a degree of intellectual curiosity. Others, however, can develop deeply entrenched convictions that permeate their worldview and significantly impact their personal lives, their relationships, and their subsequent actions. Where do you think the line lies between healthy skepticism and potentially harmful belief? While a degree of healthy skepticism and the exploration of alternative perspectives can be a valuable aspect of critical thinking, firmly held conspiracy theories can, unfortunately, have serious and far-reaching consequences. They can systematically erode trust in legitimate institutions that are essential for a functioning society, lead to increasing social division and polarization as believers isolate themselves within their own communities, and in the most extreme and tragic cases, even incite real-world harm when individuals act based on demonstrably false and dangerous information. The pervasive and rapid spread of misinformation, particularly through online channels, poses a significant and growing challenge to informed decision-making at both individual and societal levels, ultimately undermining social cohesion and collective well-being. What responsibility do we each have in discerning and sharing information responsibly? Shift to visuals representing critical thinking and media literacy, perhaps someone carefully evaluating different online sources on multiple devices, a graphic illustrating the importance of cross-referencing information, or an animation demonstrating the process of fact-checking with highlighted reliable sources. So, given these powerful psychological forces and potential harms, how can we effectively navigate this increasingly complex and often overwhelming information landscape? Cultivating and actively practicing critical thinking skills is absolutely paramount. Utilizing reputable fact-checking websites and prioritizing information from well-established and reliable sources play a vital role in actively debunking misinformation and promoting a more accurate and evidence-based understanding of the world around us. Engaging in respectful and open dialogue with individuals who hold different beliefs, while firmly but calmly challenging unsubstantiated claims with evidence-based reasoning, can also be a constructive approach. The fundamental human desire to understand the world around us and to feel a sense of safety and control within it is incredibly powerful. Conspiracy theories often cleverly tap directly into these very basic and universal psychological needs. While these narratives can sometimes offer a superficial sense of clarity or a feeling of belonging within a group, it is absolutely crucial that we ground our understanding of events in evidence-based reasoning and maintain a healthy skepticism towards narratives that heavily rely on speculation, unsubstantiated claims, and a pervasive distrust without credible supporting evidence. Ultimately, the human tendency to sometimes believe in the unbelievable is a powerful testament to the intricate and often paradoxical nature of our complex human psychology. Our deeply ingrained need for meaning and understanding, our fundamental desire for safety and control in an often uncertain world, and the powerful influence of social connection and inherent cognitive biases can at times lead us down pathways of unfounded belief. However, by developing a deeper understanding of the underlying psychological reasons why these beliefs can take hold, we can become more acutely aware of our own potential cognitive vulnerabilities and better equipped to critically navigate the often turbulent and overwhelming waters of information in the modern age. Cultivating a spirit of intellectual curiosity, consistently questioning the information we encounter, and prioritizing evidence-based reasoning are absolutely essential tools in discerning the believable from the unbelievable in our increasingly complex and interconnected world. What are your thoughts on this fascinating topic? Share your perspectives, your own experiences, and any further questions you might have in the comments section below. If you found this video insightful and thought-provoking, please give it a like, share it with others who might find it interesting, and subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the intricacies of the human mind and the complex world around us. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, stay curious.